Hey guys, it's Indy. It's me. I'm back from a short break. If you want to know why I was on a break, just stay tuned till the closing notes and I'll let you know then. But I'm going to be reading some Am I the Antagonist today, one of my favorite subreddits because I get to have the most input. This first story titled, Am I the Antagonist for helping my cousin to get laid after his wife wants to open up their relationship? My cousin is like a brother to me. He wanted to advance his education and career in the US, so I offered to pay his education and helped my cousin with his transition into his new life here by recommending him a job in the company I work for and letting him stay on my property. My cousin is a studious type, very academically inclined, but socially awkward. Before coming to the US, he had never had a girlfriend before or many friends. He spends a lot of the time on the computer or just studying, preferring not to go out. Then he met a girl. He fell in love and got married. He's in his late 20s and this was his first relationship. He calls me one day saying his wife wants to open up their relationship, saying she's still young and wants to explore her sexuality truly before settling down, even though they're married, but okay. He was crushed. He calls me crying and it absolutely breaks my heart to hear him cry like that. We talked a bit more. This is an ongoing problem. His wife is insistent on her way and refuse consulting or any type of professional help. In my opinion, when a woman wants to open up a relationship, it means she's having an emotional affair and wants her husband's permission to sleep with them, so she's not a bad person. As his boss, I can see how much this hurt him. He was unable to perform at work and I couldn't stand looking at him like that, so I just talked to him. Look, it's clear this is affecting you very badly. Have you considered taking up her offer since she wants to open up? He agrees to try. The problem is he has absolutely no game at all, so I decided to help him out. Me and my wife spend a lot of time on his image. He's not poor at all. He's making about $250K. He just doesn't know how to present himself. We set up his social media accounts to make him more appealing. We went to meet girls together and we acted as his wing buddies, and I let him drive my car because he was driving a Camry, so he needed a much better ride, and one of my properties, which is for investment purposes so he doesn't have to go back home. And guess what? It worked. He started getting laid a lot, and we made sure to add all of his hookups to his social media so that his wife can see. His wife was not happy at all. She thought he would not be that wild and wanted the relationship to close. Once she knew it was me and my wife who helped him out, she called me and scolded me. She was screaming and I couldn't be bothered to hear her screeching harpy voice, so I just offed the phone on her. This happened yesterday. Today I've been getting calls from her friends scolding me for being an asshole and ruining their relationship. I basically just retort, she ruined their relationship. I'm just helping my cousin. I know that's right. I don't get it. She wants to open up the relationship, he gets more successful than her, and now she wants to close it. And it's my fault that I'm ruining their relationship? So Reddit users, let me have it. Am I the antagonist? Note, I just want to say I agree with the people here that the relationship is doomed and they should just cut it off. But he's an idiot with a set idea of how relationships should work out. And he doesn't want to divorce unless absolutely necessary. And his wife doesn't want to consider counseling. Me, I just personally want him to be happy so I don't have to force the idea of divorce on him. But I'm working hard to lead him in that direction. You are absolutely not the antagonist. Look, it's mind-baffling to me that she would have the audacity to try and say you ruined the relationship when in reality, she ruined the relationship the moment she asked for an open relationship. You know, especially because that's one of those things, open relationships can work, but that's one of those things that both parties have to be willing to equally agree on and go in on together. It can't be Party A wants this open relationship 100% and Party B doesn't because that's all that's really gonna do is make it the second person feel like they're wrong, like they're feeling excluded from the relationship, they're not happy, it's just not gonna end well. And so for her to have the audacity to want an open relationship, more than likely for the reason you suggested, just so she can mess around and not feel guilty about it, and then get upset when he literally does the exact same thing she was planning on doing, is baffling to me. That's like two people being on a diet together and then one of them saying, I think we should have a cheat day today, just so they can eat cake. And then once the other person eats cake as well and eats more cake than them, they're upset. You wanted the cheat day? What you mad for? This next post called, Am I the antagonist for going off on a lady for calling the cops on me? Would I be if I reported her? I'm black. My husband is white. He has a sister who has a 3-year-old daughter who loves me, and who I think isn't too bad herself. My niece is equal parts terror and lovely, but mostly with me lovely. We hang out a lot to give my sister-in-law a break, and my husband doesn't really get kids, so it's often just the two of us. I was out with my niece at a play place/mall for kids, and she was being more terror than lovely. She was defiant, and I'm all about consequences after warnings. Duh, you're black. Of course you are. We don't play that shit. But she kept running away from me and laughing her butt off, so I told her it was time to go. Normally she'd just quietly go, but this time, filled with vigor and grape juice, she pitched a gigantic fit, so I had to carry her. She wasn't screaming in a "who is this, help me" type of way, but in a clearly understandable "no, I want to stay and play" no type of way. She's also 3, so maybe if you're not used to her, it's not really clear. As we were leaving, a lady stops us and asks if everything's okay. I smiled at her and told her yes, that it was just time we get home for a nap, and then she got in my face like, "Do you know this child?" I'm wrangling up a screaming toddler, so I'm just like, yes, and tried to step around her. And then she said, "You're not leaving until you prove you know that child." I told her, "It's fine, we're related. She's my niece and now calm and holding me. She's just acting bratty," and she said, "No mother would ever say that about her kid." Yeah, maybe, but she can't spell, so. She then demanded I give her my niece or call someone to confirm my identity. I was pissed. I told her I don't have to prove anything to her and I'm leaving with my kid. She literally ran to security screaming that a kid was being kidnapped. Cops called. Security guy asked what's up. I politely told him, but I told the lady off. I said it's way too damn present day to be acting like mixed race children or blended families don't exist, and to immediately jump to kidnapping was insane. The cops showed and asked my niece, who I am auntie to, and I showed them some pictures of us together in clearly different settings, and they apologized, reprimanded her. It's done. She works somewhere in the complex, but I'm not sure where, and I want to report it. She'd been watching us and saw my niece and I hanging out for at least 30 minutes in familiarity. So while I could have showed her the pictures, I didn't feel like I needed to. It's not her job. And the fact that the person whose job it is apologized to me as we left. Now, I've had this happen before, and someone is a little scared. I'm polite, but it was obvious that she knows me and they drop it. I just had flash forwards to a time when my niece might pull the "this isn't my mom" card, and then I would really be in trouble if the cops were called because I'd kill her. I get that she's absurd and that unlikely that I'd adopt a white baby, but also 100% fuck off, lady. Am I the antagonist? Would I be if I complained to the facility? It's 2019. I'm so tired of these barbecue Becky's calling the cops on black people literally every time they do anything wrong, bro. Literally, we could breathe and a bitch would be like, "Oh, I'm calling the cops." Like, damn, can we live? Hold on. Like, literally, all she had to do was ask the kid. Really? I mean, that's not even her place to do that. But even if she just was like, "Hey, little girl, do you know this lady?" And then I'm sure the little kid would be like, "Yeah, this is my aunt," or whatever, you know? That's all she had to do. But no, of course, every Karen thinks it's her place to be judge, jury, and executioner. And be like, "No, I am the law. My opinion is the law. What I think is the truth is the law. I'm calling the cops." Like, no, you wouldn't be the antagonist if you reported her. In fact, I think you should report her. It's high time that we get a law in place, as I'm assuming this is in America. It's high time we get laws in place that prohibit people from calling the cops on people of color for literally just doing everyday shit. But let me flip this situation around, because if it had been a white lady with a black kid, because no offense, but we all know how much soccer mom haircut head asses love to have mixed children. If it had been a white lady with a black kid, nobody really would have questioned that shit. But of course, as soon as it's the other way around, people got questions. People want to know. People want to be judge, jury, executioner. People want to know. And however, she said clearly that this lady had been watching her for a while, so it would have been pretty obvious that the two knew each other. It would be completely different. I'm not saying that if you see a black person with a white child and something seems completely off, that you shouldn't go to authorities. You definitely should. But obviously these two had been interacting with this sense of familiarity between each other. Like, they obviously knew each other. And this lady had obviously been watching them for a while. So she obviously, a lot of obviously's here, she clearly could put two and two together and realize that they know each other. This last story called, Am I the Antagonist for Banning a Family from My Home because of one of their food preferences? So, me and my family love having people over for meals, and I really enjoy cooking and showing hospitality to my guests. Except now for one member of my family, my cousin. Earlier this year, I had a family barbecue over at my place and had about 40 people over. Now let me preface this by saying I realize that some of my friends and family have various food allergies and preferences. I am more than happy to cater to their needs because I want them to enjoy themselves, but my cousin is just a notorious picky eater. Even when I try to make things she would usually eat, well, that particular day, I was making lamb chops, sausages, a bit of beef tenderloin, grilled portobello, mushrooms, and corn. And I also had some hot dogs because I know that's one of the foods she eats. Just as we start to eat, some guy from Uber Eats pulls up, and it turns out my cousin ordered a McDonald's and sat there eating chicken nuggets and fries in front of all of us. Okay. I took a great deal of offense over this, as you should. I invited you over for a meal and you insult me by ordering food to be delivered to you because you want to eat something else. I was embarrassed and angry over it. Other people noticed this and there were a few awkward looks, but none of us said anything because we didn't want to make a scene. I vowed afterwards to never invite her to another family event ever again. Jump to this weekend, I'm having another barbecue and I invite some of my family over. I ended up inviting her younger brother over because he's been away from school and is now back for the summer. He asked if his sister and her family was coming too. I assumed so he could get a ride and I said no. At first I didn't explain why, but because he kept pushing, I explained the situation. Well, of course, word spreads and news get back to my cousin and she and her husband are upset at me. This whole thing blew up, and while I regret ever mentioning the reason why I banned her, I did not want her or her family at my home. Now it's all my family is talking about. Most agree with me, but some are calling me an asshole for it. So am I the antagonist? Oh, and for the record, she's a 27-year-old woman with 2 kids, and no, she did not order McDonald's for them. They and their father ate the food I prepared. She ordered 2 packs of nuggets, a large fry, and a Coke and ate it all for herself in front of my family and the rest of my guests. Edit. Because I have been asked several times, I did contact her ahead of time. I told her about what I was planning to serve and she told me that she preferred Costco hot dogs, which I went out and made. It wasn't picky eating that bothered me. It was the fact that she asked if she could bring her own food that would have been fine. I wouldn't have liked it, but at least it would have been better than ordering food even after I catered to her once and implied that I'm a bad host because I took offense to it. And I can see how I may be an asshole for excluding her family, but I can't see how inviting her husband and 2 kids but not her wouldn't be extremely rude either. Okay. So, I don't think you're the antagonist for this. I do think this situation is a little bit stickier than the other ones and not as clear cut, because I don't think you're in the wrong for not wanting to have her over anymore, because I mean anybody would be confused and irritated by inviting someone over, showing them hospitality, and them literally just shoving it in your face basically. Like, that's really annoying, especially because you went through all of the hard work to go out of your way to cater to her needs. She literally was, you told her ahead of time what you were planning to serve. She told you she liked Costco hot dogs, which you went out and got specifically for her. And then not only did she not eat them, she ordered more food, assumingly to your house, to eat in front of you. That's rude. Number one, that's really petty, but that's really rude as well. So I would be pissed. You are rightly upset. I don't think you're the antagonist. I feel bad for her husband and her kids, especially because they didn't really do anything and now they're kind of getting the brunt of the punishment on their mom's behalf. So I think that's a little bit sticky. If there was a way to include them and not her, I'm sure you would do it. But as you said, how are you gonna, invite the husband and kids and not her? Like, that would just be, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know how that would work out, so. Okay, and that was Am I the Antagonist? Some very wide variety of stories there, I'd say. But anyways, if you were wondering what I was talking about in my intro, so here's the thesis. My regular Reddit account, what I was doing was, I had been doing this thing lately where I messaged everybody whose comments or posts I wanted to include for permission, just to make sure it was okay and just to see if maybe they wanted their name blurred out or anything like that. Just messaging people on some respectful shit, right? And I think Reddit flagged my account for spam because I was sending so many messages to other people. I can see how that may have been misunderstood as spam, even though literally it wasn't, but it's fine. It's not fine, but anyways, so I noticed the other day that so like basically right as I had put up my last video, the one before this, I was going back to try and message the people who said that it was cool to use their comments, because usually what will happen is I'll ask them for permission. They'll either be like no, or they'll be like, can you blur my name out, or they'll be like, yeah, that's fine, send me the link when you post it, I want to see what you have to say. Which I love when people do that, because I'm like, oh yeah, I mean I love that I could include you and you want to see what I had to say about it, right? So I was trying to get the link together to send it to those people who had wanted it, and then I noticed that I couldn't open my PMs. Like they just wouldn't open. It was just like infinite loading screen, right? So I didn't really think anything of it. The first day I was just like, that's weird, maybe something's wrong with my account, maybe it was also storming that night, so I was like, I don't know, maybe just something's wrong with Reddit. So then the next day I tried it again and it still wasn't working. And I moderate, remember I told you guys I moderate, not like the other girls. So I was in my moderator queue trying to like perform certain actions. I was trying to implement a repost bot, right? So I was trying to add a moderator and it wasn't working. So like just certain things, I wasn't able to do them anymore. So I was like, what the hell is going on with my account? Like what's wrong? But I still wasn't putting two and two together. So I was just like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'll just wait it out. And then the third day I was like, okay, something is like really wrong with my account. So I started doing like some more research to see if anybody else had been having these problems. And basically it all came to the same conclusion of I probably got suspended or shadow banned. So I was looking it up, but on the article about getting suspended, it says that they'll give you a notice on your homepage and they'll send you a PM letting you know that you were suspended or banned for and why that was and how long it would last. But I didn't get any notifications like that, like absolutely none. Like there was absolutely no indication that anything was wrong or that I had done anything wrong, other than the fact I couldn't open my PMs or moderate properly, except for I went into old Reddit and I went into my moderator queue, which has not only the communities I moderate, but also, you know, when you have your username, it's technically a community. Technically your username is a community that you moderate automatically. And it said that my username, like the community for my username, was banned. I was like, banned? For what? So then that's when I was like trying to put two and two together. I was like reading some more into the content policy and stuff like that. And I was like, the only thing that seems remotely familiar that I maybe could have done was spam. And that's just because I send so many messages out to other people who don't know me because I'm asking for permission to use their content, right? So I was like, oh, that's what must have happened. So that was really frustrating and annoying, because it was basically just like I was just iced out completely from my account with no warning or reason as to why. Like I still don't know. I sent 2 appeals for it, although I'm not holding my breath at this point. I've just made another account and communicated with my other mod buddies from my community I moderated and just got reinstated on my new account. But still, it's so frustrating. Because I mean, it's not even really about the karma or anything like that. It's just about the fact that I was iced out so completely and utterly with like no warning at all. Like that really bothered the fuck out of me. Like that really bothered me. Like y'all can't even at least tell me what I did wrong? That's wild. So I sent the appeals, but as I was doing more research, a lot of people were saying that appeals usually never get answered. So I was like, that's really disheartening. So then I made a new account originally just to like post in others, because I could still post on my account. It would still let me post. It wouldn't like be like, oh, you can't post, sorry. It would still seem like it was posting, but I don't think it really was. So I made a new account to post in the help section for help about it, and yeah, not a lot of very helpful people, unfortunately, but at this point I'm just probably gonna have to just start fresh. That's just gonna have to be what it is, which I mean, I low-key wanted to do from the beginning anyway, just because I didn't like my username, and this one is literally my YouTube username now, so that's pretty cool. But it's still sad to lose my account and like everything that I did on it, you know? That's my first Reddit account, so it's a little sentimental to me, but yeah, I'll probably just include the little article about what was going on in my account that I posted in the help section in the description if you like really for whatever reason wanted to know in depth what was going on. I'll include that. I'm losing my voice, sorry. But yeah, that's what's been going on. That's why I haven't been posting, because I literally been iced out of my account. So I like had absolutely no way of like I said, I've been trying to message people for permission. So I'm like, should I like not do that anymore? Like, I thought I was doing the right thing, but clearly I've been punished for it. So maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. But that's it for now. The only thing left for me to say is bye.